The ripping and the tearing.
Yeah.
The ripping and the tearing.
Rip it, and tear it.
Okay, so moving on to the movie review section of the
Equestrians. We like horses.
Shit. The great fucking Ben Affleck has a new movie out, man. Respect to this guy, man. It's so fucking great. The Way Back just came out tonight. We both went to go see it. And what this movie is about, it's about a guy who's been through some shit. Yeah. He's been through the fucking ringer. And he has an alcohol addiction. He has an alcohol problem. He's estranged from his wife. And he's just going through it.
Gavin O'Connor directed this, which is also, he's famous for The Warrior. He's done some, The Accountant.
Yeah.
He's done some great movies. But what I like the best about it is the fact that they really didn't shy away from showing the abuse of the alcohol that Ben Affleck is doing in the film. Jackie is his name, and it's constant. He goes to work as a construction worker every day. After work, or during work, he's pouring vodka in his thermos and he's drinking that on the job, which is fucking dangerous and badass at the same time. Don't do that. But it's, he's doing that. Then he goes to the bar afterwards. Then he goes home and he drinks and he fucking drinks, and then he passes out. Then he wakes up in the morning, and just to get through the day, he has to have a fucking beer in the shower while he's showering, and be like, God damn, dude, that's when you know your job sucks. You need a new job. But dude, I will say, it's very cathartic for Ben Affleck in this movie. You can really tell that he put a lot of himself in this role, because it's a reflection of what he was going through a few months ago, maybe even as recently as 2 months ago. I don't fucking know. But he went through all this. Yeah. And he's a self-admitted alcoholic. He lost his marriage due to it. He had to back away from the Batman movies because of it. And man, you got to have the balls of steel of Duke Nukem to fucking do what he did. And you can't throw out the fucking respect. You can't put more respect on that name than by saying salute to you, man. Because there's a lot of guys, like, that's the thing. It's not just guys or girls or whatever you want to say, whatever pronoun you need to use. There's a lot of people that go through that kind of fucking emotional struggle every fucking day, and it's really hard. And people don't understand it, that you're suffering from a disease. And it's silent but deadly killer, much like a fart in the car. But it's silent and deadly, and you have to, go about your day like everything's okay and everything's not wrong and you're not fucking falling apart on the inside. And he does that. He captures that scenario so well.
The everydayism of it,
because he's gone through it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that overall, like, you can't trust certain people that tell that kind of story unless they've gone through it, unless they're either going through it or they've gone through it or whatever. The fact that he went through it, that's why I think this movie is so powerful.
Yeah, and it is, man. And that's the whole story of the thing. So he's going through all this stuff. He's an alcoholic. He's got this stuff. And then randomly, out of the blue, this, I think it's a Catholic school, is it? Is it Catholic?
Yeah.
They call him and they say, hey, we need a new basketball coach. Because he used to be this great player, and he had a full ride to Kansas, and he just gave it up. And he talks about that in the trailer, why? Because of issues with his dad and stuff like that. But there's a whole backstory to him and his character that you don't know until like halfway through the movie. And when it lands, when it drops, because you've got that, there's the Remember the Titans stuff. It is a basketball team movie, but it's really just about him and what he's going through more than anything else. And it reminds me a lot of Full Nelson, a movie with Ryan Gosling in it that came out a few years ago. That's a really good movie where he's a really good teacher, but he's also like addicted to crack.
Who's in it?
Like that. Ryan Gosling.
He's an amateur. No, he's great. I love him.
But it reminds me of that movie a lot, where it's about the school, but it's also really just about him. And so he gets called to be this basketball coach. And one of the best scenes of the movie is this scene where, and this is non-spoiler, so we won't go into this stuff, but there's a scene where he wants to say no, like he doesn't want to do it. He wants to back away from it. And he goes home and he drinks like an entire case of beer, and he's trying to talk himself out. That scene was so good,
dude. We've all been in a situation before where it strikes your fancy to just escape from responsibility or not to look at yourself in the mirror because you don't want to be a better person. You know what I mean? Like, you're just stuck in your own misery. You're stuck in that fucking circle of shit, and you've gotten used to it. I feel like that's what was going on. Like, he had a chance, to maybe like turn over a new leaf, but he's convincing himself by drinking that, hey, I don't want to coach your fucking basketball team. Yeah. There was actually one fun I did, because the more drunk he gets, it's not something to really laugh at, but I mean, they were throwing in like some kind of like jokes now and again. But there's one part he goes, I can't help it, your fucking basketball team's like, what am I, Michael Jordan, wave a fucking wand? Like, I was like, yeah, I was like, that makes sense. But yeah, dude, it was powerful as hell, man. And the main thing is that we've seen movies like, what I thought going in, it was going to be like Coach Carter with Samuel L. Jackson, and like the main focus was going to be on, you know, treating the kids and getting them up and believing in themselves. It's not really like that. The byproduct is the basketball story. Like that's the small part of it.
Yep.
There are some cool moments with the basketball team that he definitely does inspire them to be better than what they thought they were. But it's literally about his journey out of the shithole that he's found himself in, and to being a better person.
Well, that's what happens. The basketball story reaches its pinnacle, like almost like halfway through the film, and you're going.
I was like, is that it?
Yeah, I was like,
dude, there was when they did that stop frame. I was like, what the fuck was this? The Cosby Show? Is it over?
I actually worried about that in the trailer. When I saw the trailer, there's a certain shot where I go, did they just give away the end of the movie? But they don't. Like the basketball story reaches its pinnacle like halfway through, but the movie does a great job of saying, hey, great, just because you won or just because you were successful at this doesn't mean that the story's over. And there's like I said, there's a huge you can't even call it a twist, but it's just something the plot holds from you until about halfway through, and then when they drop it on you, part of the reason for what he's going through and how dark it is, man, it's fucking dark. And I'd say my cry meter was about 5. I cried about 5 times during this movie.
Your vagina was leaking hard.
It was leaking so hard. And what he does so good in this movie, man, is that he holds it in for so long that like he's not going for dramatic here. He's not trying to be dramatic. No. He's not going for an Oscar or anything like that. There's one scene particularly at the end of the movie that really ties into what he actually went through, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
The end of that movie got me. Like everything else, like I was on the edge. I'm on the edge. I was almost there. Like I'm almost going all the way into Ricky Lake crying. Yeah. But I didn't go there. And then the very end of the movie and what he expresses and that scene that he delivers, you know, this emotional fucking speech. I was like, I did that thing when you're starting to cry. I'm like, I was trying to like bring it back in because I was like, no. I don't know. It was just terrible, and it was so raw and so real. And I think the thing about what Ben Affleck does so majestically in this film, I gave the majesty word. I did because it's Ben Affleck, but is that he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable throughout the entire movie, and you know it's just surface level tough guy bullshit that he's putting on up front. And you know it's just underneath the surface. And you know, guys are guilty of this. Like, guys do this all the time. Like, something's really wrong and something's going on and we're cracking like fucking eggs on the inside. But we have to put on this fucking strong front like we're goddamn Batman on steroids. But it's not real at all. Like, it's just, you're 1 second away from falling over the edge and being a Goo Goo Dolls music video.
Especially when the scenes of him in the bar. When he's joking around with people and he's like shooting the shit with them. Like, you can see that front. Like, he literally goes there to drink, to put on that front so that he can literally forget all the shit. And when the stuff that goes to when it has to do with kids and stuff like that stuff was so fucking bad.
I didn't know that was going to go down.
I didn't know that at all. And like when I was sitting there watching that, it's fucking painful, man. I was sitting there watching, and I'm with my 10-year-old, and like we moved up the armrest, and she was cuddled up to me, and we were watching or whatever, and like I was literally like not trying not to cry. Like, it was fucking dark, man. It's a powerful fucking.
There's again, this is a non-spoiler, but there's one particular scene other than the ending, which is the most powerful for me that made me cry, but. When his friend's daughter is going through something, or his son, and he's like, I can't be here, and he like runs. Yeah. Because the thing is, even in the bar, like you can look in his eyes and see a broken person. Like even while smiling, and that's the thing. That's what I like the most about the film is that they're portraying a guy that seems like he's got it under control, like he's okay. He's having a party of his life, and he's okay. But even when he's laughing and smiling and joking with his buddies in the bar, like he's broken. And you can fucking see like the fact that he's trying so hard to fit in and he's trying to make it seem okay, that his own friend that hangs out with him at the bar, Doc, helps him out all the time. It's like, that's fucking sad, man. Like the guy knows. There's one scene when he's getting fucking blasted and his butthole's about ready to fall off because of how drunk he is. That Doc is sitting at the bar and he's like looking over and he knows he's fucking gone. But his friends are such drunk assholes, they don't care. Yeah. I mean, it was like, you motherfuckers look like two princes. Like they look like the fucking group two princes, and they're agging him on. Yeah. But Doc's the only one who's like, "Hey man, let me get you home," and he's falling over. And he's like laughing about it, trying to joke it away. But dude, it was so goddamn powerful, man. Do yourself a favor and check this movie out. It's totally worth it, and I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad that Ben Affleck took a break and walked away from the Batman stuff to make a movie like this, because I feel like it's a good trade-off. I feel like it's worth it. At the end of the day,
and he said he wants to do, like, he had such a good time doing this, like interacting with the kids and the basketball team and stuff like that. He's like, these are the kind of movies I want to do in my career. These are the kind of movies that mean something. And the thing about this movie is, like, if you go in it expecting like this 10-minute long, like over the top Rocky dialogue where someone like completely goes crazy and has like a big speech, it's not that. It's very understated. And especially that's surprising coming from Gavin O'Connor, because if you look at a movie like Warrior, it's over the top. It's over the top, like fireworks and emotions and stuff like that. Yeah. And some crazy stuff.
But his build to it's subtle.
This is a Gavin O'Connor film, but also it's subtle and it's held back. And he holds it back. And there's these little moments where like the character breaks just a little bit. There's no like crazy, like I said, dialogue scenes or anything wild going on, but there's these little bitty moments where Ben Affleck's character breaks, and they're so fucking real and realistic that it's really fucking, it's there's something, you can tell it's fucking real. Like you can tell it comes from what he's been going through. And
it's from his heart, man. And like, you don't get that many movies today that actually just show, like they put it out there. Like he's not going for an Academy Award, he's not going for an Oscar, he's just like, this is my story. This is cathartic for me. I'm working through some real life shit, and I'm able to put all of myself into this because it touches my heart as far as like what's really going on. And it's a great film, man. It really is. And I hope he gets recognized for it. I hope people love it. And I hope that, like, the thing about the movie itself is okay. Like, the movie is not bad. It's crunchy on the outside, but chewy in the middle. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Just like the candy bar. But it's the journey that Jackie or Ben Affleck's character takes. That is
Jack. Just Jack.
No, they call him Jackie a bunch of times. But yeah, it's that journey that Jack and Diane, that Jack takes on his road to recovery, and that's the best thing I can describe. I'm gonna give the movie an 8.5.
That's right where I'm at, 8.5.
I feel like it's a solid film. I feel that it's a very cathartic film for Ben Affleck. I feel like a lot of people that maybe you were watching that are going through some issues in your life that may be a very terrible thing could get like an understanding from watching this movie and maybe a betterment of yourself. I feel like the basketball star, the basketball stuff and all the other stuff around it is really just the candy coat shelling that they got to get you in there somehow. Like, it was like, oh, it's going to be an inspirational movie about basketball players, but once you sit there and you watch it and you realize what's going on, you're like, man, maybe you're going through that, maybe you know somebody that's gone through that, maybe whatever. And it's like, damn, man, that's really happening on the silver screen.
And I especially love the scenes with his outer family that are like trying to connect with him, and they know what he's going through, but he has, like, they also judge him, like, your car's parked outside the bar every single night, like, oh, your shower curtain smells like shit, like, you're doing this, and how angry he gets them. The whole relationship with his family that's like circling around him, not like his close family, but like his sister and stuff like that. That they did that stuff extremely well too. And yeah, man, I give it an 8.5 well, and I'm just happy as shit for Ben Affleck that he got to do this role, and it's not this over the top role that everybody's gonna overly judge and stuff like that. It was just a really good role for him and a good movie by a good director who knows the right strings to pull and knows the things to do. And like you said, man, the movie around it is good. It's fine, but Ben Affleck's performance and what he does here just takes it over the fucking top.
Yeah, he's the goddamn Titanic. Everything else around him is the SS fucking Marina, or whatever the fuck it's called.
There's an authenticness to this kind of movie. And sure, is it a dramatic sports emotional recovery film? Yes, it is. But with the things that Ben Affleck's doing in this film, it adds a layer of authenticness to it that it just makes this movie almost one of a kind in a way. I loved it. So go see it.
That manager of Fashionable Mail is at it again with some good shit.
He's gonna fuck you in the back of a Volkswagen.
But I want to hug him. I'm gonna fuck you up beyond all recognition. By the way, really quick little side note to that. There's so much more cussing from Ben Affleck in this. The motherfucker sounds like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. But I love it. And there's a quote, dude. I want to make a t-shirt of it. I'm sure they will. I wouldn't do it because it's obviously not our movie. But when he's like, he was like, a chip on our fucking shoulder. A chip on our fucking shoulder. I'm like, fucking yeah, there is. There's 2 chips.
Gets you jacked.
And a Dorito.
He sounds like Batman too in the huddle. He's like, you go there, you fucking show.
I was going to say, this probably made all head coaches like fucking with wiener envy, because when you got a big ass Ben Affleck Batman walking towards the coach, like, that's fucking horse shit. You're like, I should look like that because he looks good as fuck in a white little tight t-shirt with a little black tie. He's still built as shit. If I was a referee, I'd be like, you get whatever you want.
That's fucking whatever you want.
I was like, touchdown.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.